Hi, Taurus. This is your May home light security reading. I couldn't seem to get my mouth to say that. This is for all Taurus signs, whether it's sun, moon, or rising. And please look below right there. If you've never watched one of these videos before, it helps you to understand how to embrace the energy, whether you're a sun, moon, or rising. And I always try to remind everybody, check out all three, because maybe you're not in your core energy. Maybe you're in your moon energy. Who knows? And it helps you to understand what's going on. Spirit is saying for you, well, Spirit's saying a lot. Spirit is saying you're getting a level of transformational energy within understanding higher education, higher self, higher knowledge. But they're saying you're getting to understand the responsibility of understanding that energy and what that does to you and where that can take your dreams, your wishes, your ambitions. You're learning how to regenerate that in your personal life as well as in your business and your relationships. You're also learning to let go of what no longer serves you and to understand what true joint resources are. Is there anything else? You might be a little too heavy on the personal judgment right now. It may seem a little dim, the personal judgment right now as well, or the viewing around you may seem a little dim. And this may have a lot to do with the eclipses, but it also is going to have to do with that Mercury retrograde. Because it's taking place in your sign, but also in your second house. So this has a lot to do with learning the spiritual communication that you have with yourself and how to take proper action and where that does or doesn't take your life. As well as if you're not trusting in that intuitive and physical abilities that you have, that vibration, if you're not trusting in your own vibration of taking you where you're trying to be, then ultimately that vibration will lower and take you someplace you don't want to be. Because it's one of those things where they say you fake it until you make it. But when you're trying to fake it with vibration, it doesn't work. Now, the only thing you can do in that level is like when they say self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, you can keep talking to yourself in positive ways. And in a form, Spirit said, rebrand yourself into believing that. Which then is starting to help you move away from the fear and the anxiety of the doubt that you have over your true self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. You can talk yourself into it, but ultimately, the vibration you still can't lie to. The vibration will only be the truth of what it is. And therefore, this is why in a form they say you can fake it until you make it, because you can be talking yourself into, that higher belief and helping yourself to get there. But until you truly do get there, the vibration still is what it is. And that has a lot to do, plain and simple, with overcoming insecurity and disappointment within yourself and the world around you, how you view it. And learning how to release bitterness and blame and inflexibility. Because all of that really has to do with struggling to hold on to control when really it's nothing more than a fear of failure. Now, this may not be for one specific person. This may be bits and pieces all around. but that's what I'm getting. You're learning how to deepen your spirit, deepen your soul self, allow it to grow and mature. It's like a baby. When a baby is in, like babies go from crawling to walking to, crawling to standing to walking. And what they're giving me is you're going through a vibrational lesson in between crawling and walking, or walking and standing, or standing and walking, of how to get there. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a moment of a lesson. But they're saying your biggest question here is, what do you fear will come from not finding yourself, not exploring the sacred parts of yourself? Because we all have light and dark in us. And you have to be full circle. You have to come full circle. You have to understand from all aspects. Is there anything else here before I get into anything else? It is going to get much deeper than that because the sun is in your sign. You got Mercury going retrograde in your second house. And I'm just trying not to go any deeper until I have the astrology there to back it up. So give me a few minutes because I also want to see what the tarot cards have to say for you. But I'm validating there's nothing else other than, holding on to some bitterness and blame, which will ultimately backfire. Stop trying to be perfect. There's actions that you do need to take in order to move forward. But I feel like right now, through the eclipse, is major. It's kind of like a standstill reflection moment. Okay. With that being said, I want to go over what's going to happen with the astrology for the month, the movement, and then I'll get into the cards and then go back for the full astrology. Now, you have a Mercury, which is going retrograde on the 10th, technically tomorrow. You also have Jupiter, which is moving into Aries. So it's making a shift in energy in major ways. Now, with me saying that, let me stop for just a moment. For any of those people who are interested, I do have an Etsy shop. It is LSF Sanctuary LLC at the Etsy shop, where I have a mini retrograde kit. And it's not just a Mercury retrograde. It is a kit in general to help you through all times, but especially through retrogrades, because it has a retrograde spray, which is to unfunk and unfog, bring clarity to you. It's perfect for in the office or in a cubicle, maybe even in the home. Help to unfunk the energy, bring a higher vibrational of clarity and truth in. Now, it also comes with Mercury, my Mercury oil, as well as my Rahu oil. And all of my oils that I make are made with fulgurite, which is a strike of lightning that is actually hit the sand, the soil, or the dirt in one form or another, rock, some form or another. And fulgurite is a very high vibrational stone, so to speak. It is 5D and higher. It helps with communication with yourself, the people around you, as well as the higher realms. It is in a form source energy being brought to you in a bottle and then prescribed with the energy of what I'm putting for that specific situation. The Mercury oil has its own crystals as well, and it is directed towards self-communication, self-acceptance, self-love. And so it's helping you to bring to yourself that liberation of accepting that self-love, that self-acceptance, self-assurance, and believing in yourself, working with that clarity spray. As well as the Rahu is designed to help you overcome karma that you may have that's incoming that isn't healthy, because it's helping you to redirect your patterns, to change your patterns, and to redirect them into healthier ways. So that kit is there at the Etsy shop, LSF Sanctuary LLC, as well as all of my other mystical creations that I have out there for everybody to help you on your spiritual path, whether it's cord cutting, whether, it's just helping you come into higher source energy vibrations, so forth. There's much there for you to find. With that being said, I'm going to go back to where I was. You have Mercury, which is going retrograde in Gemini on the 10th. Jupiter is moving into Aries on the 10th. You have the lunar eclipse, which is taking place on the 16th. I'm going to explain all of this as I walk through the chart. You have the sun is moving into Gemini on the 20th. On the 22nd, Mercury is retrograding back into your first house, Taurus. On the 24th is where most of this energy is going to start to pick up and make movement go forward, because Mars is finally leaving Pisces and it's coming into Aries, into its normal home, its powerhouse. And on the 28th, you have Venus, which is leaving Taurus, and or coming into Taurus, and that is also coming into its ruler. So both of them are coming into their powerhouse at the end of the month. So until then, this is kind of a little bit of a fog, learning some clarity, learning some self-discovery as we walk through this eclipse and this energy that is showing itself, so that the movement can actually start to take place more at the end of the month. Now, with that being said, let's look at your first house. I always start with wherever the sun is, and the sun happens to be in Taurus, which is your house. So right now you have your independence, your individuality, uniqueness, freedom, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, which is Uranus in Taurus. Remember, Taurus is ultimately, on the universal scale, the second house. So this is speaking to us of our own character, how we're viewing the world around us, our perception of the world around us, as well as our perception of us, illuminating the true character of ourselves, as well as what we are breathing into our existence within our manifestation. Because the second house, Taurus, is normally ruled by Taurus, but that is also a manifestation house. It's a finance house. It's a money house. It has to do with the law of attraction, manifestation does, and matching the vibration. Well, we're taking that law of attraction and that vibration, we're putting it in your first house. So this is definitely saying right now, we're looking at your character, we're looking at the way we view the world, and the way we view the world and we view ourselves has a lot to do with our self-worth, self-value, our self-esteem, our manifestation, and the way we bring our money in. Independently through your own self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. This is matching the energies, and that's what the vibration is that you see around you. Now, the sun is here illuminating where you're seeing things in healthy ways as well as unhealthy ways. How you're viewing your character and the world around you, healthy or unhealthy. The sun doesn't really care if it's good or not. It illuminates the truth. Now, the North Node is in your sign, which is also, like I said, for you in your first house, illuminating your character, teaching you what parts of your character needs to grow and mature spiritually so that you can see the bigger picture. Okay? So this is all teaching you how to vibrate higher, how to trust in yourself, your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, bring it into what the world sees of you, your character, make sure you're seeing the same thing, and what you're bringing to the world in general through your eyes. Now, halfway through the month, or near the end of the month, like I said, the sun is going to leave your first house, move into your second house, which is Gemini. But Mercury is in retrograde in Gemini, and it is going to go back to Taurus. So in a form, they're going to go like this. Right at the 20th and the 22nd. So you're going to feel them shift. Where the sun is going to actually move into your second house, which is curious, Gemini, Jekyll and Hyde, which is typically all logic, are all emotion. And it's asking you to find a balance. Don't be all logic and don't be all emotion. In order for you to spiritually connect, you have to have a good ebb and flow of the knowledge as well as the emotional truth and where that is taking you. However, Mercury's been in retrograde here, and it's going to be looking at things from a little bit of a darker aspect. Let's face it, when Mercury's in retrograde, we have become more self-centered. We don't really mean to. It's just the communication isn't talking outwardly. And I keep saying to everybody with Uranus and Taurus that if you're not in your power, someone or something else will be. And this is speaking directly on this energy right now of coming into your character, showing your unique abilities, your unique truths, your unique character from the rest of the world, where your quirkiness is the perfect you that nobody else can be. And feeling illuminated by the fact you're in your power. But Mercury in retrograde in the self-worth house, the money house, the manifestation house, is going to be going into questioning that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, that character. And it's going to move back while the sun moves forward. So you're getting a big wallop of illumination within these two houses right now. All right. Showing you where you're in your head too much versus just enough to get straight, just enough to bring it to your attention of going, you know, you've been neglecting this, you've been overlooking this, versus now I've gone full on into just ego manipulation, head in your ears. You know, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. What if I did this? What if I did that? That stuff you gotta let go of. But you want to keep a balance of your logic and your emotions about your inner communication, your inner truth right now, and acknowledge where you're harming yourself versus helping yourself because of that Mercury retrograde. Before we even get to the eclipse energy. Now, your third house is Cancer. It's not your strongest house right now because Cancer at this moment, the only thing Cancer has in it is Lilith. Lilith is not exactly powerful here. This, on a universal scale, this is your inner emotional security. That's your fourth house. But for you, it's your third house. It's communicating, whether it's communicating inner emotional security, healthy, or anxiety of not having that inner emotional security and not being in that power. Lilith here is very submissive, very much in the communication of going, well, you told me to do this, so I did. Okay. Are you not going to take any responsibility? You have to understand right now, the communication is important for you to communicate in healthy ways with you, because Lilith is not powerful here. She's very submissive. She's very follow the leader in the communication and what is to be said, what is to be done, how to act, and that will creep into the character as well as the emotional security. And right now, you want to make sure that you're independently listening to yourself. You're independently communicating in a healthy way with yourself. You're not being submissive as somebody's telling you, well, you're just fine, when you know you're not. Or it's fine, it's normal to act that way, when for you, it's not. It's important for you to understand right now what these energies are really doing, because like I said, Lilith is not very powerful here in here in Cancer. She's very submissive and will do what she's told very easily instead of standing in her power. And this is not a place you want to give this power away right now, because this communication is redirecting the next 6 months. It's redirecting how you feel about your inner emotional security, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the world around you, how you feel about the liberation or the lack of it. And where are you going to take this? So right now is not the time to be submissive. This is the time to dig deep and to explore where you're actually communicating in healthy ways or neglecting altogether, or where you're sabotaging your communication because of that Mercury retrograde, and acknowledge which is happening. Now, as you move towards that actual eclipse, for you, this is your 7th house. Like I said, not good for you to be submissive right now. In these relationships that you have, it is the first eclipse took place in your sign. Now it's taking place in the one directly opposite of you. And it's the 7th house. It's the relationships. Anything you care about, you have a relationship with. And whether that's your friends, your family, your children, your work friends, your money, your house is the money house. And if you're not confident, you're not feeling secure about your self-worth, then your manifestation, your law of attraction can't bring that to you either. So when you're talking about relationships, whether they're work relationships or not, or just relationships, if your self-worth, your self-esteem is off, then right now it's falling into that submissive energy. And where are you going to give these relationships for the next 6 months? Are you going to be in your power? Are you going to come into the victorious nature that is you? Are you going to create the heaven that you want and the satisfaction of, that comfort zone? Or are you just going to tell yourself that you've made it while you lie in a bed that's really not comfortable? This is part of what the illumination is that's coming in with this solar eclipse. And the reason I say that is because the lunar eclipse is in Scorpio. It is a transformational energy. On a universal level, it's also the 8th house, the rules, the walls, the boundaries, the joint resources, the joint efforts, the joint finances of the relationships. Are they joint? Are they really honestly fair? Are they balanced? What is the manifestation that's going on here? What is the energy that's going on here? What is like I said, it has to match its energy. So are the energies that you're keeping, the people that you're keeping in these relationships, are they helping you truly grow into what you want to be? Understand the South Node is here in this energy. The South Node is saying everything that you're really good at manipulating within these relationships to work for you, but they don't really work for you anymore because you've outgrown it. Into that sweet talk. Come on, you're ruled by Venus. Into being able to sweet talk what you want. And then when you don't get what you want, you become like the bull with a horn. This is talking about truly having a healthy communication in these relationships, truly being honest and balanced within these relationships. This isn't saying it's all bad you or all bad them. This is saying see the truth. Know when the submissive energy versus identity is coming in. And understanding where you've gotten really good at things that no longer work for you. Remember, Scorpio is not just transformational energy, but it's also energy that comes off of desire. It's also seen as not the death card, as the devil card. So it can be self-sabotage when you keep telling yourself the same things in the relationship that aren't true, that aren't actually moving forward, that are just comfort zones, but not actually achieving the goal you want. Joint efforts, joint resources, joint finances, communication, self-sabotage versus submissive energy, independence within these relationships. Are you really having a balance here? And if not, where is the denial of what is in the comfort zone? South Node is everything you're good at, in the desires and the being able to manipulate what you desire and what you want into these relationships, versus are you getting it? Are you really truly getting it? This is part of what you're seeing, not just in the eclipse, but full picture. Now, as you leave that eclipse energy, Your ninth house, which is your higher self, still has Pluto here. And only has like another year and a half or something like that to teach you what it has to teach you about truly coming into the power of yourself, truly coming into the sacred energy of source and what that has to do with you. And what is your deeper reasoning for being here? And is it applying to your ethics and your morals and your psychic abilities, your spiritual truths? Because Pluto is death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, regeneration. Kind of similar to the Scorpio energy. It is a transformation on top of a transformation. And it is asking you, where are you? Where are you coming up to measure up on the table? You know, where are you when you step up to the plate? What are you bringing? Are you in your power? Or do you just believe you're in your power? But you're touching about this much of your power when really it's so much more. Are you digging deep enough to explore? Because you only have 2 more years of Pluto trying to help you find just how glorious you are, just how abundantly truthful you are and what you can bring. So are you ready to bring it? And this is part of what's going on. You're going to be seeing this all take place over the next year and a half, not just this month. A big portion of this is going to be taking place over the next year and a half. You also have in your Pisces energy. No. Your 10th house, the outer world and the outer authority. That's got, again, rules, laws, boundaries, and taking new directions, coming into your honor, your reputation, your prestige, showing the outer world your authority, your place, your individuality, your uniqueness, where it can and cannot have authority over you. It also deals with your career, your financial status, your financial situation and inflow. It also has to do with your social foundations. So this has a lot to do with the manifestation as well, making sure that you're in the right places at the right time, surrounded by the right people, the right alliances, by having the right rules, walls, and boundaries, and not putting up with shit that doesn't fit your vibration. If it's not in sync with you, why are you still putting up with it? Because we're afraid of change, yes. But this is all about coming into understanding the bigger portion, the bigger truth behind the power in which we are. This is, like I said, if you're not in your power, someone else will be. So this is saying stepping into your power, stepping into your manifestation is also going to bring the money there. But it's also saying, you have the right alliances? If you don't have the right alliances that are on the same vibration, the same frequency, then they can't and be in tune with you to properly help you. And are you allowing that to continue? Then as you come out of Aquarius energy and you go into Pisces, you're in that 11th house. This is where you're feeling, I don't know about the movements I should make. And this is because you've had Jupiter here the whole time for this year, and it's going to move out tomorrow. It's moving in to your 12th house tomorrow, which will definitely start bringing in a whole new level of interest. But let's wait until we get through the 11th house. You have Mars here, and it'll still be here until the 24th. You have Neptune here. Neptune rules Pisces. But this is saying, where are you allowing yourself to be such a good-hearted, loving human being that you're allowing the groups and the memberships that you keep to manipulate you? Where are they taking advantage of you versus supporting you and helping you grow? Where are they taking from your time instead of helping you find yourself? I say it all the time. It's part of the people, places, the things of energies that you consume, it also consumes you. If you're not nourishing the right alliances, the right vibrations, the right manifestation with your goals, dreams, and ambitions, because you have the wrong alliances, well, then it's going to make it harder for you to actually bring it into fruition. And if it's because they're not on the same frequency as you, well, then technically, in one form or another, they're butting heads with the frequency that you want and taking you away from what you want. I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm just saying if you're in sync, you're in sync. If you're not, you're not. And know when it's harming you from where it's harming and hindering you versus where it's actually helping direct. But you have Neptune here, which doesn't care. It's magic. It's going to rebuild whatever it wants to. But right now, what you have in this energy is Mars. Mars is your passion, your action, your aggression, your inner warrior. But he's got no warrior spirit while he's still in Pisces. He's like stuck in a board meeting. Like, I really can't do anything until you let me out of this freaking meeting. So this is a moment of reflection. Like I said, because when Mars moves into Aries, Jupiter will already be there on the 24th. Time to start taking action. But this is don't start just throwing everything into motion without having a plan. Because Aries is really bad at following through with things. They get all the brilliant ideas to do this, the higher knowledge of Jupiter and the abundance of the manifestation. But if you don't follow through, will the manifestation follow through? So this is helping you to understand the direction you need to take it. And I'm going to pull this one deck right here because it's the only one that's really kind of yelling. And let's see, what does Taurus need to hear? Because I forgot to pull the cards earlier, I believe. You have a lot of things. It might be a little bit like the Tower card for you. This is being in the belly of the womb, not being able to, like, the belly of the womb, just like the baby hasn't been born yet. It hasn't popped out yet. When you have a plant that's still underground and it hasn't grown enough to pop up and start to be seeing it, it's not finished. So it's in a form, it's not finished is what this energy is. It is the collapse and destruction for the separation to let go, surrender. It is also letting go of the old, allowing the death to take place to limit what is happening so that you can move into the giving away, the birthing. So, like I said, this has a lot to do with simply taking a beat, taking a moment. This is development. You are under development at the moment. It is general process, slow but surely, adaptability, a time-honored approach. So this is definitely saying this is taking time for this lesson, for this healing to come forward. The arousing, the lightning, the source energy coming forward. This is the shock, the crisis, the upheaval, the inspiration, the dramatic power shift. This is the awakening, the shaking up to the wake up. This is the dragon waking up. It is, like I said, coming into source. This is a moment of clarity, even though it's a full month long in the brief description of your life. This is a moment of coming into a new level of source, a new level of you, and allowing it to take place. And it's not going to just end with the eclipse. The eclipse is going to bring up a whole bunch of its knowledge. But I feel like the full power isn't going to start until we come near the end of the month. This is grace. And as soon as I read this, I say a lot. we don't fall from grace. We fall with our mistakes and our lessons to grace. This is saying bringing out the beauty. This is the outer reflection and the inner vanity. This is the self-expression coming back into grace. So I feel like this is a good month, but it may be a lot of time that you need to spend in reflection and meditation. It is oppression. It is exhaustion, depression, feeling cut off, and punishment. This is being too hard on yourself. And if you're being too hard on yourself and you're not giving yourself the chance to grow, then you can't. You can't come into the light when you can't even find the light in you. This is giving yourself a chance to illuminate. Allow yourself the abundance of what Taurus is. It takes time. It's not going to be overnight, but it is definitely a new direction, a new source energy coming into a higher level of truth than what you've been experiencing. And I've been saying since the beginning, with Uranus and Taurus, the abundance is coming, and either you're in your power or someone else will be. So you're learning just how much power you have if you're willing to truly embrace it. I love you guys. Bye.